Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly while others struggle endlessly? Imagine walking down a street in London, seeing a luxury car next to a beat-up old van. The difference isn't luck, it's psychology. It starts in the mind, a secret blueprint, inherited not through money, but through mindset. And today, we're peeling back the hidden truths behind rich and poor thinking. You won't believe how centuries-old patterns still shape financial destiny. From the streets of Manchester to the estates of Surrey, the psychology of wealth has always played a silent role. Picture this: a merchant in medieval London, hoarding coins in one hand, giving alms with the other. His mind dictated whether he would build an empire or just survive, a lesson lost on most. But here's the twist: many people working 60 hours a week are trapped in the same mental cycle as that medieval merchant, thinking money is earned only through effort, not strategy. Why does the rich get richer while the poor stay poor, even with the same hours, same jobs, even same luck at times? The secret is subtle, invisible, yet powerful behavior. Choices, reaction psychology that silently compounds or destroys wealth over decades. Think about it. Your parents' beliefs about money might be quietly controlling your bank account right now, like an invisible financial DNA. In fact, studies show children who grow up hearing money doesn't grow on trees often carry mental blocks into adulthood, limiting their earning potential. And here's where it gets shocking: rich minds don't just focus on earning. They focus on thinking, planning, and investing, even if they start with almost nothing. Imagine a young Scotsman in the 1800s, penny-pinching yet obsessed with learning about trade. He built wealth quietly, while his peers wasted theirs on fleeting pleasures. The pattern repeats today. Microhook, stay with me, because the next secret will reveal the exact mental switch separating millionaires from the rest. It's called the abundance mindset. Rich people see opportunities, not obstacles. Poor minds see scarcity, fear, and risk at every corner. A tiny shift can change decades. Historically, during the Industrial Revolution in Britain, factory workers often worked insane hours, yet remained poor, while a few entrepreneurs exploded their wealth simply by thinking differently. Curiosity teased, what did they do that ordinary workers didn't? The answer is simpler than you think. They invested in knowledge, not just in machines, reading, experimenting, failing, learning, while the masses stayed trapped in routine labor. A subtle psychological advantage. And here's a hidden truth. Most people today still underestimate this, believing wealth is only about money, when it's always been about mindset first. Think about the Barclays and Rothschilds, families who didn't inherit just money. They'd inherited the psychology of wealth, a mental framework centuries old. Microhook coming up. A shocking pattern in British history shows how even the most educated can fail financially. Rich people embrace calculated risk. Poor people fear it. It's not bravery. It's a mindset, a silent algorithm running behind every decision. Imagine betting on an emerging tech in London in 1980. Most would call it reckless, but the rich saw patterns others missed. Psychological instincts driving financial foresight. Even today, behaviors that seem irrational: buying stocks in volatile markets, diversifying investments, stem from confidence built over decades of mental conditioning. Meanwhile, fear and inaction compound poverty silently. Small decisions repeated daily create massive divergence in outcomes. Historical twisted, the British aristocracy often lost fortunes simply by avoiding calculated risks, while rising merchants capitalized quietly. And here's the secret: the same psychology applies to modern Britain. From London to Edinburgh, rich versus poor thinking is written in invisible routines. Imagine walking past a posh cafe in Mayfair, noticing who is meeting for business deals versus casual chats. Micro-decisions reflect psychology more than wealth itself. But it's not just knowledge. Psychology of wealth includes emotions, habits, and self-perception. A trinity the poor often neglect. Mini cliffhanger up next. A shocking behavioral habit the poor repeat daily without realizing it could destroy opportunities in front of them. Many check their balance obsessively, panic at small losses, and avoid investments, while rich people check trends, possibilities, and long-term growth. A mindset gap few notice. Curiosity tease. What if your smartphone is secretly shaping your financial destiny right now? Studies show constant comparison on social media reinforces scarcity mindset, while rich minds curate learning and inspiration feeds, not envy. Microhook, stick around. The next revelation about historical wealth psychology will blow your mind. Did you know London bankers in the 1700s read more about human behavior than finance? They understood psychology, emotion, and influence, not just money. This skill understanding human nature allowed them to manipulate markets subtly, building empires silently, while others labored. And it's the same today. The psychology of influence, negotiation, and perception is often more valuable than any degree or paycheck. Imagine a young professional in Manchester today, reading only financial news versus learning negotiation and strategia. The difference is invisible, but monumental. Rhetorical question: how many high earners do you know focus more on thinking than working? Think about it. The rich leverage systems, relationships, and mindset. Not just hours or effort, a hidden truth repeated throughout history. Micro cliffhanger coming up is a bizarre habit rich people share across centuries. They consistently schedule learning daily, from books to mentors to market observation, building invisible compounding mental interest, while the poor binge entertainment, scrolling endlessly, consuming passive input. A silent divide grows every year. In Victorian England, literacy among working-class citizens was low, but the few who educated themselves, self-taught engineers, traders, built generational wealth quietly. Fast forward to today. The lesson is the same: mental discipline and self-education are invisible yet unstoppable engines of wealth. Microhook, don't scroll away. The next fact will reveal why debt is a mindset trap more than a financial problem. Most people fear debt, avoid it, or misuse it, while rich minds leverage strategic debt to create cash flow, a concept ignored by the majority. Imagine borrowing not to survive but to invest, not to spend but to multiply wealth. It's a psychological shift more than a financial trick. Historical twist: in Britain, merchants used credit lines to expand trade in the 1600s, while peasants avoided debt and stagnated. Micro cliffhanger next. The weirdest difference between rich and poor thinking is about time, and it's mind-blowing. The rich see time as a tool, an asset to invest, not just something to fill with activity. Every hour compounds into a larger mental and financial picture. Meanwhile, poor minds trade time for immediate gratification, unaware it silently erodes future wealth. Here's a story, sir. John Jacob Astor started with nothing in England, moved to America, invested time strategically, and built the first real estate empire in U.S. history. You won't believe how a single mindset tweak could have doubled your income by now. The rich imagined multiple futures. They think in probabilities and long-term outcomes. Poor people react to the present only, trapped in short-term thinking loops. And it's subtle. Every choice, from daily habits to conversations, feeds this mindset divergence, compounding over years into massive wealth gaps. Next reveals a surprising link between curiosity and cash flow. Rich people ask questions, explore, test, and adapt. Poor people accept this is how it is. Curiosity literally compounds money invisibly over a lifetime. Think about British inventors like James Watt, who questioned the status quo and transformed the Industrial Revolution. Curiosity equals capital. A shocking emotional trap keeps most people poor, even when opportunities appear. Fear of embarrassment or failure paralyzes action. Rich people fail fast, learn faster, and iterate. Psychological resilience is the true wealth engine. Meanwhile, poor people wait for perfect timing, which never comes, losing decades silently. Imagine a young Londoner choosing to invest £100 in a side business versus buying gadgets. The difference is mindset, not income. Microhook, stick around for a historical pattern that predicts future millionaires even today. The psychology of abundance versus scarcity shows up in spending, giving, and thinking habits. Invisible threads controlling financial destiny. Story time. During the Victorian era, charitable wealthy individuals still multiplied wealth faster than miserly counterparts. Their minds focused on growth and influence. The lesson is clear: psychology compounds more than cash, Habits shape fortune long before bank balances do. The next secret is shocking. Rich people fail more often than poor people, and that's why they win. It's counterintuitive, but risk and failure are tools, while avoidance traps the mind and fortune alike. Think about it. Every major British industrialist faced bankruptcy multiple times before succeeding. Psychology fueled persistence, not luck. Microhook, the next paragraph, reveals a mental trick you can copy starting today. Rich people think in systems, not isolated actions. They design routines and leverage processes. Poor people react, chasing immediate wins. Historical twist. Think of the East India Company, a multi-layered system built on strategy, risk, and mental frameworks, not brute force. Imagine applying this mindset today, seeing patterns where others panic, exploiting opportunities invisible to most. You won't believe the tiny daily habits separating future millionaires from the rest. Rich minds schedule money thinking, investment time, and learning time like appointments. Poor minds let distractions dictate life. The next part will reveal the role of gratitude and mental focus in wealth creation. Rich people appreciate compounding advantages, focus on wins, visualize success. Poor people dwell on losses, regrets, and scarcity. Psychology fuels results. Think about British innovators. Sir Richard Branson often credits mindset, persistence, and curiosity, not just capital, as keys to Coming up is a bizarre historical fact about aristocrats and merchants, revealing psychological patterns still relevant today. Aristocrats often lost fortunes due to pride and overconfidence, while savvy merchants preserved wealth through humility, learning, and psychological resilience. Lesson: emotional intelligence often outweighs inheritance. It silently guides financial outcomes over generations. The next insight will challenge everything you believe about wealth and luck. Rich people embrace uncertainty, seeing it as a playground for creativity and strategy. Poor people fear it, waiting for safe paths that rarely exist. Think about this: you could be missing opportunities daily, simply because fear clouds your judgment. Psychology drives more than skill ever will. A hidden mental bias explains why most financial advice fails the majority. The poor often mimic strategies blindly, while the rich adapt, test, and innovate, thinking critically instead of following trends. Historical twist: in Britain, many stock market disasters happened because investors followed the herd blindly. The rich profited by questioning and analyzing. Imagine learning to spot hidden patterns, predict outcomes, and adjust quickly. That's mental capital, worth more than any inheritance. The next secret will reveal a hidden truth about risk most people ignore completely. Rich minds calculate risk with precision, fear only when irrational. Poor minds avoid all risk, missing the compounding power of small bets over time. The final twist will reveal the ultimate hidden truth behind wealth psychology. Here it is: the richest people often act like they have nothing to lose, not recklessly, but psychologically, freeing them to seize opportunities fearlessly. Meanwhile, scarcity mindset traps ordinary people, creating self-fulfilling financial limitations, a mental cage invisible to most. Think about this: your future bank account may depend less on your job and more on your daily mental patterns. Microhook, the final shocking historical parallel, shows the timelessness of this psychology. From Victorian London merchants to modern UK entrepreneurs, psychology dictated who thrived, who survived, and who faded quietly into debt. The rich see money as a tool, influence as leverage, and knowledge as capital. Poor people see money as security, influence as risk, and knowledge as optional. What if I told you one small shift today could change your financial trajectory forever? Start thinking in systems. Invest in learning. Embrace calculated risks. And question every assumption your mind is the true vault of wealth. And here's the ultimate twist: history and modern psychology all converge on one truth. Your mindset creates your financial destiny before any money touches your hand. So imagine tomorrow, seeing opportunities others ignore, acting while others hesitate, your psychology silently building wealth while they sleep now. What if I told you the next secret unlocks even deeper hidden truths about human money behavior?